Hey, East Coast Lumberjack. Welcome to the channel. And today, got a few surprises, a few fun things here in line. It's a weekend, and it's time to do another YouTube video, and hopefully teach somebody something. So if it's your first time joining the channel, welcome. It's Rod Cumberland. I'm the East Coast Lumberjack, and I've been making videos for a couple of years, trying to give back a little bit to the YouTube channel, things that I've gotten off of, such as how to fix a car window or whatever. I use YouTube a lot for figuring stuff out, and I figured, geez, you know, maybe I can help some guys with some handle issues, because handles is my thing. So anyways, we got some neat stuff today. I'm in the workshop, and I'm gonna show you the spoke shape on this is a peavey handle. I'm gonna just quickly finish it up. Then I'm gonna show you. Now, I said a couple of weeks ago I was gonna show you my guitar. And my guitar is a pretty sweet musical instrument. So we're going to take a run upstairs here in a bit. And I'm going to show you the guitar. Maybe I'll play a Merle Haggard tune if you get really hard up. And you can howl along with me from the other side of your computer or your phone. And then we're going to come back down because the old East Coast Lumberjacks had a bad day. Now, I'm not sure whether you guys ever had bad days. But when you grab that piece of wood and you start making a handle, and then you get right to the end, and you're just about ready to finish it. So you take off, of course, what I do, I take my my handle bolt. If you're just joining us, this is a bolt of wood, okay? It comes from the outside of the tree, so there's the bark. I split off a pie shape, and then of course I split off that inside triangle, and that leaves me with this outer piece. Okay, so this is what I make my handles out of. So I draw my pattern out, and of course I run it through the bandsaw, and I make it 8-sided. Okay, so it's usually 4-sided. I take the 2 sides off first, and I lay it this way. I take the other 2 sides off, and I just take the edges all off. So this is what it looks like. Okay, this is basically an octagonal handle, and all I got to do now is finish it, or so I thought. So when I get right down, this is the moor. Okay, and this baby's going to Florida, to my buddy Joe down in Florida. And Joe, when I got right down to the bottom of it, look at this here. Okay, see that? Okay, and I looked at that, and I played with it a little bit. And if I really come after it, I think I can break that out of there. But it's a little seam in the wood. Actually, it looks better from this way. Look at this. Okay, see that seam? And it just comes around here, and it's it's close to the tail end of the process. But it's not as close as this one. So I'm making another one for a lad out in, where's he from? Knoxon, Montana. Now, he wanted, look at that, barrel straight, double bitter, 36 inches, and you know how tough it is to make a 36-inch handle straight as a die, but there it is. Beautiful handle, nice and smooth and perfect shape. And then down here at the end, there's a little, now I could probably send that out. I'll probably stamp that as #1 handle. But as I was finishing it, I heard this little, and you can hear it. When you're finishing your handle, you can hear this little, and it's not solid wood, and you can tell there's a little bit of a vibration there. This is why. If I can get in here, right there, you see that right there? There's a little, you actually can see it right here in the end. There's a little split right there, okay? And if I look at it here, there's a little, right there, you can see it. Now, I know to most people, you might think, what's a big deal? You don't stay in business for 30 years for saying it ain't a big deal. If it's not a #1 handle. Now, sometimes I might miss something like that because I'm getting old and stupid. But most times I catch those. And when I catch them going out, they don't go out. Even though this is a sweet handle. Okay? It's going to hang right here in my seconds. And actually, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to do a video. Okay? We'll do another video. We'll do a scratch and dent sale. Okay? Because I got quite a few there, and I'm going to fix one today, okay? So that's coming up. If you want to know how to fix an axe handle that's got a split in the bottom, such as this one, I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? But first, We got some other things to do. So, I've got two nice hickories heading out to Montana. I've got two here for a local guy. Okay? So Logan, shout out to the UMB Woodsman's team. I get your handles done, and I'm going to pop those in. One of them, I guess, goes in that practice axe you left here. Then I get another guy, new guy, Anthony McLean. Shout out to Anthony, okay, from Dalhousie Agricultural Campus. He wants an axe, and I made his handle for today, and I've got an old, been laying around my shop here for a couple of months. But this is a brand spanking new China. We all know what I think of China. Or Chinese made stuff. I mean, man, support local, guys. I'm a big proponent of support local. Anyhow, they make decent chopping axes. Tuatai sells them, so I buy them from Tuatai. Good bunch of guys down there in Masterton, New Zealand. But anyways, let's get down to business here, okay? So I'm going to put my jaws, my rubber jaws, back in my vise. And I'm going to put in my peavey handle. Because I want to show you how to finish a peavey handle. Now, we talked here last week. I showed you what a peavey end looked like. And this is what the loggers used to roll logs, okay, to get logs on trailer. This is the main body of it. Here's the point, okay? And the point acts as a wedge, okay, when it goes in there. And of course, that's called a dog. It hooks onto the log and you roll it. So, my buddy from UNB needs some peavey handles. So, if I get you close enough to see what's going on. Okay, so now you don't have to look at my ugly mug. So we're going to use a spoke shave. That's the same spoke shave that I fixed up last week. It's a Lee Valley. And I'm just going to start here and see which way the grain's going. Okay, I think it's running the right direction. Then we get no chatter. So, what I'm going to do is basically take off all those rough spots. Oh, there, it grabbed. If I show you this one here, this peavey up close, you see there's lots of little ridges in it. And that comes from I've got an old-fashioned duplicarver out in the shop, and I make these on that old-fashioned duplicarver. And it leaves those little ridges in it. So, of course, I got to take those out and smooth it up. So see, that chattered there. So now I'm going the opposite way because I know my grain's running the opposite direction. So you see it's smooth this way, but then over here I swing around and I pull this way because the grain's going in the opposite direction. Okay, and it's not chattering there. So you basically just, you want to run your spoke shave where it's smooth to go, so you're not chattering and catching on the grains. So this side is this way. Now depending on how big or small your peavey stock is, you may want to take a little bit more meat off, which I am right here. I want to make it a little bit smaller. Now, I used to always make my peavey stocks from ironwood, or what we call hop hornbeam. And its lateral strength is phenomenal. So that's what matters in a prying tool, lateral strength. And that's what they used to make the old whiffle trees out of, that the horses used to haul sleighs and wagons and stuff. Whiffle trees, because it took a lot of tug on both sides from the horse, that whiffle tree would withstand that flex and pressure on it that way. So I made a lot of peaveys because, of course, peaveys, you're doing the same thing. It's a lot of prying. But hickory's a pretty impressive wood. And, of course, I've made a few hickory peaveys lately. So that's what this one here is. So I'm just smoothing it out now, taking it down a little bit smaller. Now that side's done. So I'm going to just round off my end. And this is a Stanley Sureform. If you haven't seen it yet, anybody that watches the channel regularly knows it. It's one of my favorite go-tos for finishing the handle. So I'm just going to round this out. Okay. So I just round the end over. And of course, because it's wood, if you don't like the shape of it, you can monkey around with it a little bit when you get it. So I do what I like, and of course, because it's all by hand, everything's different. just a little bit. I use general patterns, and then I finish them all to my liking. Okay, so they may, the UMB team may find these knobs a little bit too excessive. And if they are, they can just knock them down a little bit. And the other thing I've got, you'll notice a little bit of linseed oil. Whenever I make peavey handles, they're going to sit around for a bit, I linseed oil the end. Okay, and the reason for that is because if it gets too dry in here, and I'm running of course I heat my house with a wood furnace, so things do get dry. And I don't want that to dry out a little bit more and check on the end, so I kind of seal it with that linseed oil, and it seems to work really good. So, I'm just finishing off this right here a little bit. There. Okay, and then we'll roll it over. Roll her over, Jake. Over and over. And then, of course, I can see right now on this one, I can see my grains coming this way. They're overlapping this way, so I know pulling is going to be the best way to smooth this out. And it is. There. There, nice. So this end's done. So now all you do is do this end here again, and I'm going to show you it up close. So just use that to smooth out. That's the palm swell at the end to keep your hand on the peavey. I'm just smoothing it out, making it a little bit more uniform. There. Okay, so far, show you this so far. Okay, so it's rounded out here, quite nice. Okay, and I'll sand that a little bit before I'm done. But it's nice and smooth here, you can see. Now I've got a bump, and you can see it right here. Okay, so that's the next section I'm going to do. So I'm going to flip it over and put the piece I've already done in the vise. And then we're going to take off. So the bump is right here. See if you can see that. Not quite, but that's where it is, right around there. So I'm just going to take my spoke shave and see which way this way here looks. And all you're going to do, you're going to go right across that bump. I'm not sure, it looks like this way. So it's grabbing there, so I'm going to go this way. And I'm basically taking down the wood on one side of the bump and smoothing it right into the other side. There. Now I'm catching a little bit here, so I'm going to go the other way. Catching hard right there. So just taking it down. There. So it's continual. Now it's cutting me back a little bit there, so I'll flip it over and go the other way. Now it's catching here. There. So, let me show you what I've done. So, here's the bump. You can see right here very clearly. Okay. And as you turn it over here, this is where I've been spoke shaving. See how smooth that is now? Okay, so there's the bump. You can see it underneath here. Now it's gone on the top. So I'm just going to keep rotating that handle in the vise and taking off a little bit more the whole way around. So it's nice and smooth the whole way around this. You also want to check how round it is. Okay, and if you find a little bit of a ridge, you want to go back and take that off, like there was right there. There we go. So big long strokes. Whoop. Gouging a little bit. Take that out of there. Make it nice and smooth, the full length of the handle. There. One more rotation and we should have her beat. And this will be one peavey handle for UNB team completed. Or I guess it's for, I'm not sure whether it's for Logan personally or for the team, so I'll not say yet. So this is a Lee Valley spoke shave. Sharpened up. We did it last week. If you haven't seen how to sharpen a spoke shave, check out last week's video. It's a pretty good step-by-step of how to sharpen and use a spoke shave. There we go. One more turn. So we've got almost every side done now. And that's just been, what, 8 minutes finishing that. Now it takes a long time in the shop turning it out, but finishing it isn't that bad. We're just spoke shaving it smooth. And then when the person gets it, there's a lot of different types of PVN, so I'm just going to leave that for them, and they'll work that down to make it fit, just like you do with an axe head on an axe handle. So this is the last little bit here. Okay, and get gouging that way. There. So now we have the peavey stock nice and smooth. Alright. So all I need to do now is run a little sandpaper over it. What you see is nice and smooth now the whole length. Okay, so that's using a spoke shave to finish peavey handle. Now, and unplug you. I've been charging, didn't want her to die. Now we're going to go upstairs for a little treat. Okay. And I have, it's a little dark here in the stairway. But don't worry, we'll come into the light. Still haven't figured out how to edit all these things. So, and of course, sitting on my favorite chair is Katie's cat. Okay, Rocket, time to move. Come on. So, a few years ago, oh, I can see there's a lot of sun behind me. I gotta move that out there. Hang on. There. So, a few years ago, actually, my family's pretty musical. My mom's side of the family. Cumberland's not so much. My grandfather could play a harmonica, I think. Anyhow, I gotta get that window out of there. Maybe I'll come this way. There we go. Look at this. So, my uncle, Larry Matson, is in the New Brunswick Country Music Hall of Fame, and his daughter, Laura, phenomenal singer. So, shout out to the Matsons out in Ontario. They're a great clan. My mom's sister's family, all cousins. And Larry, my uncle Larry, he taught me how to play guitar back when I was about 30, 35 years old. And actually, it was back when I gave up competing and I sold a couple of axes and I bought a guitar. And I bought a Yamaha, was my first one. But look at this here. Look at the grain on that. So for a guy that makes axe handles out of ash, this is curly ash. And when I saw it, I said, I gotta have it. So this is the back. Actually, you can see that the curl here on the side. This is the back of the guitar. Okay? So it's hardwood. And I know all you musicians out there are saying, look at the front of it though. Man, talk about gorgeous. All you musicians are saying it's not going to sound as good as what a guitar should, because it's not made out of softwood. But I think you'll be impressed. It's a nice little guitar. So, I got a book of songs, a binder, and I think I'm going to start playing a little bit. Now, I'll tell you what we got here. I like old country. So I got Saginaw, Michigan. I've got the old Wreck of the 97. I got a lot of the old goodies. And then I like modern stuff. I got some Garth Brooks. I got some Brad Paisley. I got a good song there about getting old. I took one of what's his name songs and redid it. And I got some rock. I've got some old rock and roll, which I like, the old 50s stuff and 60s. So I got a bunch of different stuff. I like folk. Got some good John Denver and stuff. So put in the comments what you like to hear, and if it's one I can play, maybe I'll play one. Do a shout out for you. But anyhow, let's listen to this girl. So it's pretty sweet sounding guitar. So I like Merle. I don't know why. Maybe because we have a little bit in common. Although I haven't been to jail yet. So let's do one. This is one of my favorite tunes. Sing Me Back Home. Warden led a prisoner down the hallway to his doom. I stood up to say goodbye like all the rest, and I heard him tell the warden just before he reached my cell, let my guitar playing friend do my request, let him sing me back home with a song I used to hear, make my old memories come alive, take me away and turn back the years, sing me back home before I die. I recall last Sunday morning, a choir from off the street came in to sing a few old gospel songs, and I heard him tell the singers, there's a song my mama sang, can I hear it once before you move along? Won't you sing me the song my mama used to sing? Make my old memories come alive. Take me away and turn big tearjerker from old Merle. But anyways, that's on the old Hugga guitar, Curly Ash. Okay. So it's pretty sweet sounding guitar. And if you don't mind it, you seem to even like it, maybe we'll do a song every now and then. But the key part of today's video is showing you how to fix an axe. Hi, honey. She don't want to be on camera. So, what I want to do, now, there's a couple of different ways to do this. And you may want to use the dowel method, okay? And I'm pretty sure old Buck and Billy did a video here a couple weeks ago, or a month or two ago, and showed people how to fix them using a dowel. So essentially, what happens, and this is one for next week when we do our scratch and dent sale. But if you look here, so on all my rejects, I got a little black mark on them that shows what's going on, okay? So there's a split across here. Now other than that, it's got a little bit of salt and pepper in it. It's a pretty sweet handle. It's a French curve. It's pretty sweet. And you're not throwing this baby out. So pragmatically, what I used to do, because of course we were using chopping axes a lot, and every now and then you'd get this happen in them, and I didn't have the time or the heart to throw them out. So all you need to do is you need to hold it together. Now there's a couple different ways. If I have a big enough split, sometimes I will work something in there and try to get some glue, some wood glue down in that crack, okay, if I can, before I do what I do, which is screw it together. But sometimes what you're going to increase the split and make it a lot worse in order to get that glue in there. So all I do, because this is holding together pretty tight, okay, it hasn't separated at all. It's been hanging here for what, 6 months now. So I just take a drill and you check it out and see which way it is. So there's a little one here, there's a bigger one right here. So basically if I go straight in from the back, okay, and go right there in the meat of it, I might go up a little bit closer to the end. Now because it's a hardwood, you're going to find that getting a screw in here is quite a challenge. But what you want to do, so now I'm in here that far, okay? And if you look at it, my split goes right here. So I'm in there about a 3/4 of an inch beyond it. You want to go a ways beyond it. And you want your hole almost as big as what your wood screw is, because trust me, these old wood screws go in pretty tough. And the last thing you want, which I've had happen before, is you get in there so far. So here's my wood screw, and I'm going to countersink this. So you can see it's in there quite a ways. Okay, the wood screw's going in that far. So I want to make sure I'm in, okay, so I need a little bit more depth. There we go. Because you want the wood screw, you want that last probably 5 mil of wood screw to go in the wood itself, to hold really good on the very inside. Okay, and there's my hole on the outside. And now what I want to do is I want to countersink the head, because of course if you look at the wood screw, okay, it's got a flared head. So I need a little bit bigger bit than the one I've been using. It's likely in my cupboard here. There it is. Okay, and I'm going to use a little bit bigger bit to countersink that. So I'll just go out a little wider. And all you want to do is drill another little hole in the one you first made. Okay, it's almost there. So you want to countersink this. So let's take a look now. Okay, so I've got one hole with a countersunk hole out around it. Do your small hole first. I guess it doesn't really matter, but so now what I can do is I can take that wood screw, and sometimes what I'll do, I'll put a little bit of wood glue on it. You don't have to, but basically we're going to send it in that hole, and all it's going to do is going to hold that wood together. Okay, so it'll go fairly good because the hole is just a little bit smaller than the screw itself. But you'll see it has a good grab to it, okay? Now, I've done this before. If you don't have that hole in there far enough, you get this far and you really start cranking on it, and you'll bust the head of the wood screw off. Which, it'll still hold. It'll do what you want it to do, but it just, for me, I want that flare there, that flare of the head, to hold this outside piece really well to the inside piece. So see, now it's getting in there pretty tight. I'm just going to finish putting it in until it seats there, and you can feel it really bite. Okay, right there. So, okay, the wood screw's in there. So what I should show you is if I made that, I should countersink that a little, just a whisker more, and then you can actually plastic wood it. Okay, put a little bit of plastic wood over the outside to smooth that over. Let it dry, sand it. You never even know it's there. Now, because I'm going to sell this, I'm likely going to take that out and drill that a little bit deeper and then plastic wood it. Okay. If I can get it out. There we go. So we can use a drill bit to speed this process up slightly. if this little Black & Decker can handle it, it's not much of a drill, but yeah, she's bucking awful. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to countersink that just a little bit more. That's something that won't even, let go. There we go. Okay. Maybe that'll work better. So I want to countersink it a little bit more so that that head of that screw goes in further. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, now Rod, because that's gone in there a little bit farther, you need your small hole in there a little bit farther. And you are right. So let's put that one in a little bit further. There we go. And now we'll go back and put the screw in. Because when I do my scratch and dent sale, you're going to say, Rod, I'd like that handle. I want the screw disappeared. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to put it in here now. And we will get it in far enough. There we go. You can hear that cinch. Okay, so see it's in there. It's countersunk pretty good now. So all we're going to do, we're going to take a little bit of plastic wood and we're going to seal it with plastic wood. Okay. To open, pry lid up by hand or screwdriver. Even pink inside. I'm not too impressed with that. So let's stir this up a little bit. Now, plastic wood would be yellow or tan or something. Pink. Jeez, man. That's changing colors, going a little bit more skin color, I guess is what I'd call it. This one must have sat in the shelf quite a while. Anyhow, it's a weird smell too. I've never used it. I usually use Lee Page's plastic wood, but I went into Home Depot in Fredericton the other day, and this is all I had. So I guess I did have a Lee Page's, but it was a pint. I'm not going through a pint anytime soon. So this looks a lot like body fill, and we're just going to put a little bit right in our hole there, and leave enough so it sticks out. Okay. Once you put it in there, okay, we've got it covered over. You see it's bumped up a little bit, because what we're going to do once that dries, we're going to go back and we're just going to sand it off and sand it smooth. Okay, so that, now I do think a dowel with a little bit of wood glue will do essentially the same thing, but being a practical guy, it looks nice, okay, with a dowel in there. It's very practical. You just see the little hole. Being a practical guy, I want the hold. So knowing that mechanical screw is in there and the flared head is holding the outside piece in, I just feel a whole lot better that it's not going to let go. So I've repaired a lot of handles like this over the years, and I find it does work really well. So I'll sand that off next week. Next week we'll do the scratch and dent sale, okay? So I do have, there's about a dozen handles there. So, and I just, of course, have two more here today. I've got a 36-inch double bitter that has got a little bit of it's got the same kind of thing at the end. And maybe I'll leave that to you to fix, and whoever wants that one. But I've got a, thankfully, a big long 48-inch bolt here. So I must have made this for my peaveys, because look how long that thing is. It's longer than a Holt Road. So anyways, and of course I got my new pattern on that for the double bitter. So I've got these two orders just about done. I got the one peavey done. You guys watch me finish that. Just the other one for Logan. And then we'll have that one finished. And sometime here before long, because once I get the other two peaveys done, we're taking a trip to Crab Mountain. Now, Crab Mountain is a mountain outside of Fredericton, and it's a ski hill. I know you Western guys are going to say, that's not a ski hill, it's a tobogganing hill. Something you toboggan down, because it isn't big. Last winter, my daughter and I went to Fernie, BC, and we skied Fernie. And once you ski a hill like that, Crab Mountain, it doesn't look very impressive. But if you've never been there, it's pretty good. So you spend most of your time on ski lifts. So take a warm mug of coffee with you. But anyways, nestled into that hill out there in Crab Mountain is a guy that is my blacksmith, and he does some neat stuff out there in his little shop. So we're going to take some of these peaveys out, and we're going to mount them, okay? And I'll show you how to do that, because it's a neat process. It's good to watch. It's a lost art. It's a dying art. So I mean, I'm doing that for a reason. So there's actually some kind of video evidence that this was actually done. Because a lot of guys now just pound them on there and drill them, and anyways, that's not the way to do a peavey. So we're going to come back and do that in a few weeks. And I've also actually, Mr. Galelli, Joe, I've got your package here, and I know I said a few weeks ago we were going to open that thing. But the problem is your handle is about 8 down in the list. So I'm stalling, Joe, okay? I'm intentionally stalling so that I don't bump you inadvertently up in front of a bunch of other guys. So another week or two, we're going to do that. So we're going to open up Joe's axe head. I've never seen it before. And I'm going to show you start to finish in one video. Sharpening the head and hanging the handle. It may have to be 2 parts because it might be too long. But anyway, that's coming up. So if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to hit the subscribe button. And till next week, East Coast Lumberjack signing off.